that was a communication from the Senate. So can you respond to that?
Madam Pro Tem, members of this August body, members of the Senate, let me say that perhaps there are some misunderstanding. Perhaps it's better for to make it clear today, because we appeared before the Senate before, and we did inform the Senate that we processed a number of work permits, and in responding, in giving information, in giving information to the Senate to say that last year, 2024, we issued work permit up to in the neighborhood like around 10,000, and about 8,000 of that were regular work permit. And the total we've collected last year was around $9+ million for work permit we issued. But the letter is saying 8,000. The 8,000 are not necessarily all regular work permit. And I probably need to give the breakdown of that 8,000. That 8,000 regular work permit, this is the breakdown, and that the breakdown, when we supported the breakdown with all of the, for example, gratis work permit, regular work permit. We made a copy for the Senate. I think we made sufficient copy, and they were distributed among members of the Senate. Take for example, we say non-African aliens mean the white guys, the white people that come here, and we've given them work permit last year.
Get the minister on course so that we'll be clear on what we're doing. The minister submitted to this Senate a listing of people he's giving work permits to, but he left out the category, the job description, the job category. It is that job description category we have asked this minister on official communication more than 5 times to submit. So he get kind and say he has submitted that to the Senate. He knows what the Senate wants. So we see the job description, the category, to determine what is a driver, what is a carpenter, what is a plumber. Then we know for clear that we need to correct them, because that is what is in violation of the law that we want to correct.
I think the report was presented on the Senate floor, and to complete that report, there has been one request by the Senate to give that list of foreigners that he gave work permit to with the categories. I think we sent several communications, and we've asked you to appear with that list. I don't know what it is, but since I was sending a few requests, because there are several requests for the list.
Madam Pro Tem, if you allow me to complete my statement, I will address the issue of the category that the senator is talking about.
Do you have the list?
We've already submitted a list. We met over it. We took over a system. This is a
bill. The only reason why you are here today is to present to the Senate a list of 8,000 work permits that were given to foreigners in the categories of work. Was that submitted to the Senate? Do you have it today?
Madam Pro Tem, we did submit. We submitted listing of all of the work permit we issue, gratis, regular, airport. Yes, they are contained in these documents that were submitted to the Senate. But I can go further to explain that the 8,000 we mentioned.
The document that you have a list with the categories. The document before you.
The system that we have in place that we took over does not say.
There's a chair of the Labor Committee. Can you respond to that? Have you received the list of the 8,000 work permits?
Madam Pro Tem, we met a system, the categorization of work permit in the system is that non-African, we identify them by the work permit we issue. They're ECOWAS African aliens, we also identify them. Aliens that are ECOWAS aliens are also identified by the system. And this is a system that was built, that we met. We have not changed the system. And the category here, based on our report, that's what we send you. And we try to continue to say that. We talk about that 8,000, you talk about the 8,000, 6,000 of that number, that non-African aliens. Those are, you say, ordinarily white people. Then non-ECOWAS aliens did are from other African countries. We also give the number. Okay, for example, the non-African alien, the 6,980, that constituted 69%. Then you got non-ECOWAS alien Africa. That was 2,699. That constituted 20%.
Every time we pass concession here, it is part of to our knowledge that we will create jobs out there for our people. This legislature deliberately passed a Decent Work Act and authorized the Minister of Labor to issue regulations on what we call employment permit, known as work permit, with deliberate intent to preserve some jobs for Liberians. And what the minister is doing here is he reaching to the point where he risking Article 44 contempt because he wants to impede or obstruct our function. Out of the system, it tells you something is wrong because you're giving work permit for drivers, the system was carried. You're giving work permit for carpenters, the system was carried. We will not pay people school fee to go to vocational school. The government will not fund vocational institutions. Our people get vocational skills. They got the skills marketable for job market. When we create job opportunity, then we get work permit to non-Liberians for the same job for which we created. Because the government wants $1,000 per work permit. Some of the work, the job, they gave it up to non-Liberians that Liberians are qualified, available to have, paying more than $2,000 to $3,000 a month. The minister, my order to the minister, Madam Pro Tem and distinguished colleagues, is that for 4 months, this minister has been begging this issue. 8,000 work permits to non-Liberians for jobs that the minister can provide the category and description of is troubling. Something is wrong. The minister is risking contempt, and we beg this plenary to hold the minister in contempt until he submits that list. We must know who he giving these jobs to, because in keeping with my communication that I wrote, I quoted all of the law. Regulation, chapter 7, section 7, Chapter 45, Section 45.9, respectively of the Decent Work Act, authorize the Minister of Labor to issue regulations for the issuance of work permit to aliens, foreigners, and or non-Liberians. Under this authority, the Ministry of Labor has issued the revised regulation number 17, 2029, rightfully quoted by my colleague, Francis Doko, setting the condition. Yet the interesting thing I want us to note here, Section 3 of the regulation, no permit shall be issued to a non-African alien to work in the informal sector. Taxi driver, store boy, all the things, the informal sector. Going for this store, you will see store boys. Go see for a Judah truck and thing, you will see drivers and all that thing. Additionally, no permit shall be issued to any alien, whether non-African or not, to engage in any of the businesses set aside by law exclusively for Liberians. This is the Liberalization Act that we passed as a legislature for the executive to go implement and enforce. for the good of our people and our country. The executive is violating this very law, and we appear that we do nothing for our people, we only hear for ourselves. The emphasis, moreover, Section 6 of the 2019 regulation carries that except as otherwise provided by law, an employer who seeks to employ must first convince the Ministry of Labor that he or she cannot find a suitable Liberian for any existing vacancy by showing proof of publication of information regarding such vacancy for at least 1 month. In at least 2 local newspapers and on 2 local radio stations, as well as on Liberian websites, additionally inclusive. Such employer shall obtain a certificate from the Ministry of Labor as proof that he or she has found no Liberian qualified or suitable for the job. And until such proof is shown, the Minister of Labor, consistent with Chapter 5 of the Decent Work Act, shall issue no work permit to an alien, even if the alien has resident permit. Where is the category of the 8,000 work permit that the Minister of Labor has issued that we can find no qualified, suitable, and available Liberian to have? That's the question we're asking.
Mr. Minister, this is intended to help reform your ministry and to help the country provide jobs for our people. We'll take your word for 2 weeks. Secretary of Senate, please do a communication to that. 2 weeks is June 3rd. Please do a communication for my approval before you send it out to the. With that, we'll get a motion to.
Father, distinguished colleagues, having listened to the debate and followed by the request of the Minister of Labor requesting 2 weeks beginning today to submit the work permit document as mandated by plenary to include the category, the specification of jobs. I move that the request be granted with a proviso that the communication sent to be sent to the minister will carry that a failure will constitute contempt.